Hi, this is Jesse. I'm here with Joe. We're at SHOT Show with Guerrilla Airsoft Radio. I'm here with Adam from G&G, and we're going to cover some of the new product line we can expect to see for this calendar year.
Okay, so pretty much I'm Adam from G&G, as you guys said. And for this year, 2016, is going to be G&G's 30th anniversary. And I'm very excited to show you what you guys got.
Me too.
Yeah, this year we'll be concentrating on a lot of our AKs and a bit of our M4 line. We're also going to be introducing ETUs on a lot of guns that haven't been introduced, like let's say more AKs, like the old school RK-104s and whatnot. So, but we'll go and show you that a bit later. But for now, here I got right over here is the RK-74, the T, the CQB, and the E. Okay, so they're pretty much different variant lengths of the AK variant line. So my AK CQB is going to look like the Spetsnaz kind of AK. The RK-74E looks more like the 104 kind of mid-length or mid-size AK. And I got a traditional full-size 74 with the T. Okay. The newest features with these that they're going to have that kind of like the PMC kind of contractor look to it. You know, they're more like the pimped out variety of the AK.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to feature a lot more ergonomic features than will a standard AK. Let's take my RK-74E for instance. Right. It's going to have key mod style rails on the 3-position sides, right? It's also going to have a rail gas tube like you see with like some of the Ultimac or some of the Troy rails that you see in the real steel market. Yeah. It's also going to have a flat top Picatinny rail receiver, and it's also going to be nice and solid too, so you can mount various types of optics and whatnot onto it without any problems of it being loose or whatnot. The battery is a little bit different. Traditionally, AK batteries, they've always been kind of hindered because stick batteries, they don't really hold a lot of milliamps or whichever. Now we got LiPos that kind of fixes that problem, but not a lot of stick LiPos still. They still don't last too long because they're kind of shorter at milliamps. What we did for the AKs is that instead of bringing it through the dust cover or the stock, we put it through the gas tube. Okay. What you would do is that you unlock the locking lever of the AK, twist the gas tube up in the front a little bit, and then the whole handguard on the top, it takes apart. And you put an 11.1, like a tri-panel 11.1 LiPo inside the battery, or inside the handguards without any problems with it. Install it back on, you're all set and good to go. Another feature that I really like on this gun is the dual charging handles too, so I can rack it back, do whichever, just chop up. Yeah. So let me see. As going back to the battery ports, the only AK that doesn't have the battery featured in the handguards will be my CQB guy right over here. The RK-74 CQB. That's only because of the fact that the gas tube is so small. Right. So there's going to be a traditional dust cover with it. Okay. So like I said before, dual ambidextrous. Oh yeah, sure.
All right, so he's going to demonstrate how the battery actually goes into the rail system.
Right. If you're familiar with how to take apart real AKs, the process is fairly similar, except you don't have a bolt or you don't have the piston and the bolt carrier that go with it. So you're going to put up the locking lever right over here. You're going to twist the handguard rails right over here to make sure that's all loose. Then, boom, it pops off just like that.
Very easy and a lot more solid than relying on the dust cover, because I don't know how many people have their dust covers just pop off because the simple little button or having a hard time like putting it back in place. So
the battery might be just a little bit too big and it won't like stud in all the way too. So which is why it's a little bit easier too. So here, let me open this back for you guys too.
So for some of those guys that have those unlucky issues, you're not going to have to put any tape on the top of your battery or do anything ridiculous rigging it up. Well, the other one that caught my eye initially when we came in here was the PDW-15 CQB. I have a similar model of this, but this one looks a lot nicer.
So the PDW-15 CQB, right? The PDW-15 series is going to be modeled after a lot of popular guns that you see from like video games, like Call of Duty and whatnot. Yeah. But it looks almost like the AAC Honey Badger type of variants. Although there are two types of variants of the PDW-15. I got the PDW-15AR and the CQB. Don't let the two names fool you. The overall length of both of these guns is exactly the same. Is that what considers the AR variant or the CQB is the size of this rail. Okay, so the AR variant is going to have like a longer rail than the standard CQB. So that way, for people who want more real estate on top of their guns and put it more forward. Me personally, I prefer the look of the CQB rail. Me too. Because it looks more like the old MP5 SDs that you like to see, and that's by far one of my favorite guns.
When I first got into Airsoft, the thing that I liked the most, well, the initial gun that I wanted was an MP5 SD5. Exactly. And so, yeah, this reminds me of that.
Exactly, too. The stock on here is going to be modeled after a lot of the popular shorter PW style stock that are more lightweight. It's only going to have the two positions, either closed or out, like that, whichever two. But for the most part, it's still like a pretty comfortable stock and very ergonomic as well. The battery placement on here is going to be back over here in the back of the stock where the buffer tube is. All you gotta do is pop this back cover out, and the battery fits in nice and snug right there. Although the receiver is going to look a lot like our SR series key mods that came out in 2015. So it's going to have that kind of like the aggressive style billet, a little like receiver from out of it. And the PDW series will be full metal as well. So it's not going to come in the combat machine line.
And then I noticed that this thing is like completely ambi. It's got the ambidextrous selector switch. It also has an ambidextrous mag release on each side. So there's one here like you traditionally see, but then there's also one here. And then this actually has metal sights that felt pretty solid. I really like. There wasn't anything that I didn't like about this gun. What's the retail on this gun?
The retail we're expecting to be about the mid 300 range, so about 320 for the shorty and 330 for the PW15 AR. Okay. So, there you're all set.
All right, we're gonna go to the other side and check out some of the other models. All right, so we're looking at the RK74 CQB, and he was going to show us a little something about the bolt catch.
Yeah, so a lot of people who use Airsoft, who use AKs in Airsoft, right, they have a hard time just in hop up because you got to finagle the charging handle, make sure to hold it in place, then tool around the wheel because a lot of AKs not going to have a bolt catch. Well, the new feature for our AK lineup that's going to come out this year is that it's going to have a little bolt catch with it. One of my favorite features is, for one part, it's a little extended selector switch, so you don't have to move your hand when you're trying to fire modes. You just roll up with your index finger, and boom, you're all set. And with the bolt catch too, right? Lock your charging handle back, move your selector up into save, and boom, there's a little slot that holds the selector in place. So that way you can just finagle it, mess around with it, and you're ready to go. Put that bad boy down, you're all set. Good to go.
That's so cool. Yeah, I like that. That's a cool feature.
Is that the one I'm taking home with us today, Adam? I don't need one that's still in the box.
Yeah, you can take one home in about summertime.
Oh,
so
awesome.
So being a little bit sooner than later. So.
Joe pandering.
Okay. Yeah, too. But along with another extended magazine release too, you can also actuate the magazine from your index finger. So a lot of everything will be actuated from the index finger.
The only downside to a large release on the magazine is if you have somebody that's a super operator like Joe, that while you're pointing on him saying bang bang, he might kick that selector thing out to keep you from shooting him because he's released the magazine. So unless you have somebody like Joe on the field with you, that's cool.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so not too bad too. But another thing I wanted to cover with you guys one more time about the AKs too is that the magazines have been redesigned too. So G&G, the M4 or AR style mid caps have a little extended follower, so the AK is going to have that as well. It's also going to take apart very easily, just like our other 120s that we got. The cool thing about this one that we added new was the changing capacity. So you got the 30 rounders right over here, and then 90 round switch right over there too. So you get the people who can switch back and forth between 30 right there, and then 90 back over there too. So you get more of like the.
So you can go from a real cap to mid cap.
Yeah, pretty much. So.
That is really neat. I think, you know what? This would actually suit a lot of people's needs. There are some guys that already purposefully go to a real cap standard because they want to be more milsim than milsim sometimes says it is. So with this type of magazine, you can fulfill the need of being real cap but also mid cap. So that's great.
Yeah, it's a little bit more versatility to your events.
And so when these are selling individually, what do these magazines run?
The price hasn't been announced quite yet, but expected to run as standard as their other mid-cap capacity magazines. So maybe map around $15 or so, but that's still TBD.
Very reasonable. It's pretty much the industry standard. All right, and that is it for that. All right, and we're moving along. We're going to cover some of the other model of different M4s. Now, these actually came out in the tail end of 2015, but he was just going to kind of cover some of the differences that we've seen from the other models.
Yeah, so like 2015 was pretty much the year of the key mod for us, and then we've had several different types of models of key mods that come out since maybe about August or time frame or so. The GC Warthog is a type of it's another type of key mod that we pumped out, and so it had 4 different types of models, right? You got different types of lengths, in the 7, 9, 10, and 12, and everything like that as well. The Wild Hog, which you see right over here, it looks kind of like it's very similar to the Warthog, but the thing is that it's going to come with like the kind of like the Noveski style kind of like flash suppressor onto there, and the rail on the key mod is designed just a little bit differently from the Warthog. Okay. The Wild Hog does come in 4 length as well, so the 7, 9, 12, and 13.5 inch. So you got different types of varieties in there. The one thing that we wanted to try out with from last year was different colorations of the SR series As you see right over here, this is SR with like the red trim and whatnot. So far, originally it's supposed to be like a beta test, or like not like a beta test, but like a market tester. Kind of seems like, okay, let's show people what else.
Just to gauge interest.
And so far, the interest has been pretty well received. Since these come out, they've been moving pretty well for us. And whenever we go out to events like SHOT Show or like some of the Airsoft cons or events that we go like do American Milsim or Lion Claws, a lot of people have been very like, oh wow, these are pretty cool. Like the sharp. I mean, sure, it's red, and we kind of some people might think this might be an obnoxious color, but it doesn't beat people with the head with it. You know what I mean? It's not like a flashy kind of thing.
Which is ironic to me because, you know, with California's legislation and adding coloration to all the different rifles, that we're adding some sort of coloration to the gun voluntarily, but there's actually interest for that, which is funny because there was a lot of complaining over the adding of colors, but this is really cool looking. I would use it, I would own it, and it's good that there's a lot of people that kind of are getting past the fact that, oh, it doesn't look real. It's still cool.
Exactly, too. And then, like, so we started off with the red. The interest has been well received. So now we're moving on to a white version of the Wild Hog right over here. There are some talks of doing a blue version that has the same kind of markings, like the blue barrel, and the slightly blue aesthetics with it, right? As it is a company color, with the red, white, and blue, and so expect that later down the line in the future as well.
Because America.
Exactly. So speaking of America too, we also got another one of the little pilots right over here. Or original the Wild Hog right over here. You can see it's all colored in. Exactly. You see it's all red, white, and blue. Right? It's so far again we've been kind of playing around with different kind of colors to see, really gauging more interest, and kind of expect more news about this guy on the horizon. So
I could see somebody using that in the Milsim game.
I'm just going to throw this out there and say, to me, that's not red.
It's a little bit pinkish, but that's because of the metal, the way the metal was. You're right too. So.
Shut up, Joe.
Because personally, I like the red on this one than I do on the metal ones. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a little bit flat.
It looks nice. Okay, we're moving on to some more AKs. Two tomes, other stuff. Tell us what we're looking at.
Okay, so last year the heart of the SR series was the ETU, or electronic trigger unit, with the more crisper response to the trigger and the 3-round programmable MOSFET. Beforehand, it was only for version 2 type guns, but for this year, we're going to be introducing it to version 3 type of gearboxes. So in this case, AK type of variants. The RK-104 has been the staple G&G guns for years and years now. So we decided to update it with a new tan coat and also the new ETU MOSFET. So this guy will shoot 3-round bursts or full auto and semi and have a crisp trigger response, just like the SR series too. So and also comes in a new color, in the black and tan.
And it's very lovely. Don't have to add any sort of paint. There's a lot of guys that are, taking their gun apart and painting it.
Why are you looking at me?
Like somebody behind the camera. He paints everything. So maybe you won't have to paint this one.
I can paint it black. That'd be cool.
Okay.
So, but yeah, not too bad. And, another thing that in terms of color variations as well, as you can tell, we've been introducing colors from like the CM Wild Hog, the SR series as well. Yeah. What's really been doing very well for the past few months was also our GC Predators and our CM Predators. So a lot of people have been really digging the claw kind of aggressive look of the receiver. So for this year, we've been introducing different color variations of the Predator, and I got that right over here.
All right, he's grabbing the Predator. And it's gray and cool looking.
Yeah, the GC Predator that came out maybe about a couple 2-3 months ago has been very well received so far. Because again, the claw and that very aggressive looking kind of gun to it. But the name itself sounds kind of badass, the Predator, right? So to go ahead again to play around with different kind of colors and whatnot, we decided to release the Predator that everyone has been seeking out in a battleship kind of like flat stealth gray look to it. Yeah. So the Predator will be out in not only gray, but it's also going to be in black as it usually is right now, along with Hunter Green and Coyote Brown.
What's the price point on this one?
It's going to be a little bit more. Usually their color variants are going to be a little bit more expensive than the center black Predator, but expect the pricing to be about $340, $350 or so. It's about the mid 300s.
All gray, much operator. I like that one. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed everything that Adam covered here at G&G live from SHOT Show. This is Jesse, Joe, and Adam saying bye.
Have a good rest.